Well, I've been to China more than 50 times. And I do have about 800 Chinese artists in the White Rabbit collection. And nothing is for sale. With my collection, it is a very clear picture of what's happened in 25 years. I want to know what's happening today. I just want to walk ahead. Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. With my first visit to China in 1999, I did visit a few studios. And I didn't ever realize that I would have a collection like this or do what I wanted to do. But I did collect from then. The reason that I started with contemporary Chinese art is there are more artists in China than anywhere else on the planet. The worst, the best, the controversial, the news, the things. And then I came to China and I saw what was happening here. And I mean, things were still quite slow, and there was the art that was for Western audience, you know, trying to please us. But there were people doing things that I thought were good. But I did collect from then. And then I came back, and once I had made up my mind what I wanted to do, I used to come every 3 months. So I've been to a lot of studios, a minimum of 1,000. Although at this time we have all the greats, which I believe are the greats, perhaps in 20 years someone that I bought very early on, who was young, inexperienced, but just wanted to tell a story, that or those people might be the ones that we look back on. However, whatever happens, it will always be the only document. It could only have happened with Chinese art. From day one when I started collecting, I made it very clear to the artists their work would never be sold. The part that I've got starting in 2000, that's the history which has allowed what's happening today with the young or the old to head on. We're moving all the time. So I've got the history because I like contemporary and I like new. It's only 25 years, that's my story. Through my eye only. We all put our history into it, even though we take new invention. However, quite a few people in my collection, they've done the hard times, so they've worked with it. But the new ones are fresh, and they don't even have the memory of those times. They just see all the wonderful things that are happening. But I haven't been to every city in China, and I don't know every artist. The ones that I have, I've been lucky enough to connect to. I have a very good eye, I think. And also because I've tried most things and made a terrible job of it, I know when I see a master or somebody who's using that and it works, I understand how many years or their vision or how their mind works. So I can respect it. If I hadn't tried and failed all of those things, I wouldn't be so good at choosing for myself. How I choose the art is instant gratification. I'm not interested in what the art is about, who did it. Visually, I have to like it. If it needs a story to explain it, that's not in this collection. because I'm sharing the collection with people that a lot of them have never looked at art, and they've never been brave enough to say what they think about it. Some of them have always focused on a certain theme, but then they have changed the way they use that theme. You know, they might move from painting to sculpture to film, which is true contemporary art. They're using what's there, they're looking at what other people are doing or how things are being made, and then they put it into their art. Every year we see changes, and now things are happening so quickly. If I come back in 6 months, somebody will have made something using what we've discovered today or learnt about. Yeah. You're hungry for knowledge on how to make things better. Very often they're big errors because certain things do not work together with materials, but that doesn't worry the artists. So we have a big job with watching conservation and needing to remake how things work, or speaking to the artists, because they just want to make it. And even if it only works once, but we need it to work forever, you know, so we will help doing that. Then one man who was he was in charge of a big art gallery in Australia. He had a love for China, and he used to come and talk to me, and he said, if you're going to start on this road, you have to have your own storage and everything that goes with storage, conservation, photography, space if there is performance art. And he said, and your collection can only be the Chinese contemporary art collection looked after or living in Australia. We have a storage facility, 10,000 square meters of storage, and everything is state of the art. There's me looking after collecting the art, and Jim, he looks after it. So from when I buy it, he's in charge of getting it to Australia. And then once it gets to Australia, it's photographed and there's a place, it's given a place. It's all recorded as to where it is, what it is. We also loan works, and we loan quite a lot, because there's no point in just having a collection and not sharing it. I like to share. There's not a museum that has better storage and facilities than where all of this work is looked after. So I'm proud of that. But it's a huge responsibility.